All right. So as I said, with the quote unquote leak video I talked about with the potential or allegedly or whatever word you want to use leak of Peacemaker and Homelander showing up in the next Mortal Kombat game, which will be allegedly named Mortal Kombat 1, I thought it'd be kind of fun to just dust off the old guest character video. Because those always, everyone loves to talk about guest characters for Mortal Kombat now that the doors are essentially wide open after MK11 pretty much was like, we can get fucking legit actors. We can get Peter Weller and Stallone in here. Couldn't get Schwarzenegger. And we got Keith David as Spawn. Yeah. So now that we have, we can do dialogues of the characters, we can do all of that, it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun to see that. And it does make me wonder as to who we could get. As for like I said, for Peacemaker and Homelander, if they're actually in the game, I'm really hoping we get Peacemaker in the... obviously, I really do hope we get him, but I'm also hoping we get John Cena to voice him. Because, I just hope that's the only way you could get away with it, really get away with it. Then you have... I don't know, I can't remember the actor's name, I don't really watch The Boys. It's pretty mean. I don't really watch something that's meant to be mean-spirited towards something I like and meant to be deconstruction. It's that's the thing. Just sidebar. I never really like deconstruction stuff, mostly because it's telling you you're stupid for liking this and go fuck yourself, you stupid piece of shit. That's what it feels like. It's always telling me is you're fucking dumb for liking this, and you should really hate yourself for liking this. That's what it always feels when we do something like The Boys or something like that is deconstruction on something. There are some that I like, but there's others where it's just so much deconstruction and feels almost so mean-spirited that it's fuck you for liking this. Nobody likes you. I don't like you, and I'm the writer, and I'm telling you, you suck. Go die in traffic or something. It just feels like they're being that level of mean-spirited, not just to characters you like, but to you, you the reader. I've read some really nasty ones, even on par with how nasty The Boys comic can be. So I'm were those the big fuck you reader ones? Anyway, sidebar over. I hope we get the getting back on point. I hope we get the actor for Homelander, because let's be real, people know more about Homelander from the show than the comic. So I do hope we get his, and he's probably going to look more like the Homelander from The Boys TV show than the comic. Also, probably way less crazy, because if you've never read the Boys comic, oh boy. Anyway, so and I know I'm not the only one, but I was wouldn't it be cool to have Homelander here, because we can't do Superman? Yeah, now we get to do that. As for other characters, so I'm going to talk about some other characters that I would love to absolutely see as guest characters in Mortal Kombat. Starting off, let's talk about some horror characters. We haven't really gotten a lot of horror. We didn't get a lot of horror characters. We were supposed to get Ash in the last game, but Bruce Campbell's there was apparently a likeness thing that Bruce Campbell didn't like, and Bruce Campbell now says that Ash will never be in a Mortal Kombat game. So, damn it, Bruce, come on. I guess he just doesn't. I have this. Okay, let me do a tin hat theory real quick. My tin hat theory is that he was because for those who are unaware, when you're doing lines for a video game, you're in there for hours. No other person, just the other people doing the dialogue, and you're just doing that for hours. I think what it was is that, because I'm pretty sure they would have paid a lot of money for his likeness. I think it's because of how much dialogue he had to do when Ash guest starred in Dead by Daylight. That probably turned Campbell off from wanting to do that again for the Mortal Kombat game, and also doing all the sounds as well all over again. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I have that. That's just my tin hat theory. That's just a theory. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But yeah, so we probably won't get Ash. But are there other characters that we haven't gotten yet? There's tons. There's tons of horror characters, and I would love at least one more horror character to show up. Freddy, Jason, the Xenomorph, the Predator, the of course Leatherface. There are tons of other like slashers I would absolutely love to see in here. I think one that I've really wanted. This is the one I've really wanted more than any other is Candyman. The reason why is because one, I think there would be a lot of fun utilizing like the bees and teleporting with bees. Or if you've ever seen Good Bad Flicks, bees. Every Good Bad Flicks fan just agreed with me, going bees. Anyway, so that's so I'd also like, again, it would not be hard also to get Tony Todd. The name got away from me. So yeah, it would not be hard to get Tony Todd to, because he's already, I mean, he's done video game rules before, so he's used to sitting in that box for a while and reading that off. So I have no doubt in my mind that could be that I would love to have him, and maybe if as an alternate skin we can get Yaya's version of Candyman from the new movie. I think that'd be or at least like get his likeness and do like an alternate skin. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, if we're gonna do that character, it has to be Daniel Robitaille. Like that's the only, like, that's what I want. I want Robitaille as the as that character, you know. Notice how I'm trying not to say the name 5 times. It affects you that much. So there you go. As for other horror characters, I think Pennywise has always been constantly talked about. I think, yeah, Pennywise has always been a constant when it comes to guest characters in Mortal Kombat, especially in horror. And I would be okay with that. I think that would be really cool to do Pennywise. I think you could also get Skarsgård. He's very tied to that character. And yeah, there's a lot you could do with him, like shape-shifting, and the fatality has to be the arm bite. Like, it just straight up just has to be the arm rip. There's no other, like, that has to be one of the two, that has to be one of the 2 fatalities, is just take the arm, rip it off with the teeth. Yeah, there's no other way. What else was there? So Pennywise would be cool. At Herbert West, I think everybody sleeps on Herbert West for a guest character. I think he'd be a lot of fun. He could throw zombies at you. He could probably like summon zombies. He could probably like, you could do like him using like his medical bag and doing damage to you through that. Also, they've worked with Jeffrey Combs before. He was Brainiac in Injustice 2, and he's done other projects with other video game companies. So I would, yeah, I think he'd be very cool with using his likeness. Combs is very open to coming back to the Reanimator. So I think he would be really cool. I think it'd be really cool to do Herbert West in this game. As for others, the Creeper would have been interesting. I think a lot of people would agree that the Creeper would be cool, but personally, that character is damaged for me because of the director and what he did, and that's all I'm going to say on that. I will say that another horror character would be cool, but I don't know how you could get him, because we can't do the likeness unless we talk to the family, is the Tall Man. The Tall Man would be really cool. Sadly, Angus Scrimm has passed away, so it would have to be, you'd have to get the likeness from the estate or the surviving family members. I don't know if where that is legality. And you'd have to find a voice actor who could match him, which I don't know how hard that would be. But I think that would be really cool. So yeah, I think the Tall Man would be really cool, especially using with the silver balls. Like, it just goes, the fatality goes in the other person's head. It starts draining out the blood, and then out come like brains and bone matter. Oh, that'd be. Or use the gold ball as the fatality. If you've seen if you've seen Phantasm 2, you know what I'm talking about. And of course, I can't do a horror movie DLC character without talking about Pinhead. It's perfect. My girlfriend even said, like, there's no way Mortal Kombat could fuck up Pinhead in their game. In fact, the fatality you could do is from the first movie where they take out all the chains and just start hooking. Remember Jesse's death in the first movie? It just called the fatality Jesus Wept as a reference to what he said before he got ripped apart. There's your fatality. And of course, you could bring back Doug Bradley. I'll tell you one better. As an alternate skin, you can bring back I forget her name, but you can bring back the actress who played her in the new movie as have like an alternate skin. I think that'd be really cool. So there you go for horror characters. I know there's tons of others, but yeah, I'm just gonna leave that off there. For comic book characters, I think we might get 2 DC characters. I'm still holding out for Lobo. Lobo was my first pick when I did this list. It is cool that we may get Peacemaker, but Lobo would be really cool. And can we get Brad Garrett to voice him again? If you guys forget, Brad Garrett was the voice of Lobo for the DC animated universe, and if you know Ed Boon and the guys behind Mortal Kombat and behind NetherRealm Studios, these guys absolutely love the DC animated universe. Of course, George Newbern, Susan Eisenberg, and the late great Kevin Conroy. And they brought back other voice actors and obviously Jeffrey Combs. He voiced Question. Now he's Brainiac. So they've had other voice actors to come back for that. So I think it'd be really cool to get Brad Garrett to... I don't know if you could get him, but Brad Garrett would be really cool to have him reprint, like how they got Keith David to voice Spawn from like he did in the 90s cartoon. So that'd be really neat. So Lobo, if they do another DC character, I'm still holding out for Lobo. For other characters, Conan the Barbarian. I don't know if you could get, again, Schwarzenegger, or honestly, I think this is one of the times where you don't need the famous actor to play the character. I think Conan the Barbarian can hold his own. Although, having said that, can we get Ron Perlman to voice him, please? Because for those who don't know, Ron Perlman voiced Conan in the Conan video game decades ago from the Xbox 360. If anyone has that game, it was like a God of War kind of game. It was one of the many God of War knockoffs, but still, that game is fun. I actually own it. It's a banger. But yeah, that's so yeah, Conan would be cool. Now, I'm going to talk about this one, and I'm going to incorporate a theory. Sidebar, I'm going to incorporate a theory that my friend Jason Voorhees has regarding one character. And that is Judge Dredd. Now, personally, I would love to have Judge Dredd, the character, in here, but it would be really cool if they use the comic book character and have it be Karl Urban. Now, sidebar, Karl Urban is in talks to play Johnny Cage in the upcoming Mortal Kombat movie sequel. Personally, I would have had him as Kano, but we've already done Kano, so... But yeah, so he's apparently going to play Johnny Cage. Now, Jason threw out this thing of, what if, to cross-promote the movie, they have like a skin, like how they did the 90s movie, and brought back the actors for Sonya, Christopher Lambert back as Raiden, and the actor who played, I forget the other two, but played Sonya and Cage, and have 90s skin and their voice actors back. So what if, Jason threw out this idea, what if they do like a promotion for the new movie and have Karl Urban be that skin, like for an alternate skin for Johnny Cage, and do the voice for that, assuming he does take the role. So yeah. Yeah. But honestly, I would prefer to see him as Dredd. I would love to see, get back, have that character, like have it look like comic book, but he's voiced by. Also, I would take Stallone though. I would not be opposed to Stallone. He voiced Rambo. Might as well get him for Dredd, right? Anyway, but Karl Urban, then Stallone. As for other characters, there's a few. Like, there are a few other characters, I think, like, outside of comics that you could do. I think a lot of people said John Wick. That just depends on how much they're willing to shell out for using Keanu Reeves' likeness. God forbid if they could try to get him, because getting the voice is one thing, and likeness is another. That's a lot of money altogether. But I know a lot of people have said Wick. That would be cool, but I just don't see that happening because of how much money that would take for likeness and voice. Michael would be neat. Like going back to horror. Michael would be really cool. I think it would be also neat if they branched out into other. Stuff. It depends on if these companies are willing to have these characters get brutally murdered. If that's the case, Samurai Jack? Afro Samurai? Maybe? Yeah. So, there you go. But you guys tell me in the comments below, what guest characters would you like to see? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.